Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today, after a month of not reading any books, I'm finally bringing you guys a book review. I'm going to be reviewing The Last Dragonslayer by Jasper Fford. This is book 1 in the Chronicles of Kazam series that he's going to be doing. First off, let's just talk about how beautiful this cover is. I have mentioned this in one of my other videos, but I am seriously just in love with it. There's a little bit of a sheen on it on the bottom part where the dragon tail is, and the dragon tail wraps all the way around the spine and to the back. This book follows Jennifer Strange. She lives in the Untitled Kingdom, and basically in this kingdom or this world, magic was a very big thing. Sorcerers and magicians were very highly in demand. They were used in very big ways, but now magic is fading in this world, and magicians are mainly just used for like house calls or maintenance needs or like little things here and there. They're not really as valuable as they once were because they've lost a lot of their power, so they can't do as much. But all of a sudden a prediction comes in that the last dragon will be dying on Sunday at noon. When a dragon dies, people are allowed to take over the land that the dragon occupied. So everyone is sort of clamoring for this land, which is like the last bit of land that's left to claim ownership over. This book was a lot of fun to read. It is a middle grade novel, so it's very lighthearted and very easy to read. The only reason why this took me a month to get through is just because I didn't really have a lot of time. But I think at the same time, the fact that it took me so long to read this book really hindered my reading experience, because personally I just feel like I never fully engaged in this world that was created. This book reminded me a lot of early Harry Potter, like especially the first Harry Potter. I think it's just like the world building and the idea of magic, there's a lot of similarities there. So if you like early Harry Potter, the more lighthearted side of Harry Potter, I think you would really like this book. But at the same time, comparing this book to Harry Potter in my head, I think hindered how I viewed this book a little bit, just because the world building in here isn't quite as complete as it is in Harry Potter. I know this is only book 1, but the way this book ends, it could almost be a standalone novel. Like there isn't a cliffhanger or anything like that. Like you could just read this book and be perfectly content. But if you only read this book, there are a lot of questions that I feel like are left unanswered. They make a lot of references to things like big magic without really explaining what any of that really means in the sense of this world. They introduce a lot of characters, and I feel like you never really get to know the characters that well outside of Jennifer and a little bit of her friend Tiger. Any other character that's introduced here, you only get small glimpses of them. There's a lot that's going on in this story, and I feel like because of that you don't really get the full story behind anyone. I feel like this story moved a little bit slow. There isn't really a lot that happens. I would say like the first half of the novel leads up to a certain major point in the story, which I don't want to say what, but if you read it you could probably figure it out. And then everything sort of follows after that to another single point in the story, and the parts in the middle just felt like you were wasting time between those 2 points. But on the opposite side of that, I really enjoy Jasper Fford's writing, and I think he is a very funny writer and his books are really amusing. So in that sense, I've never really felt super bored by it. I felt a little bit conflicted about when I was reading this book and when I was thinking about it for review purposes, because I did enjoy it. Like when I was reading it, I never was like, oh, I have to read this book. But at the same time, like I never felt fully satisfied by it. On Goodreads, I gave it a 3-star rating. I think if I had the choice, I would have given it 3.5 out of 5 stars, because I didn't completely fall in love with this book. I loved Jennifer Strange, the main character, and I loved her friend Tiger and her Quark Beast, which is like her pet. I don't even completely understand what a Quark Beast is because I feel like it wasn't explained. In my head I imagined it to be like a dog, except more mechanical and more fearsome. But the fact that I don't know what a Quark Beast really is, or the fact that I don't completely understand everything that's happening in this world, is a bit of a downfall for me. I don't know if in future books he'll be fleshing out the world and fleshing out this story a lot more, but just in terms of just reading book 1, it wasn't necessarily the best world building. I would still recommend this book if you want something that's fantasy but not dark fantasy. You want something lighter and more fun, because that definitely is good here. That's my review of The Last Dragonslayer. Please let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of this book if you've read it. I haven't read any of Jasper Fford's other books, although I do own Shades of Grey and The Air Affair, so I'm very excited to read those books because just based on this I feel like I would enjoy his adult writing quite a bit, especially because I think he will flesh out his worlds a lot more, and I've heard really positive things about those series. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching. Honest, like is a middle grade novel, and it is book 1 of some sort of trilogy series.